For years, Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Phoenix has dropped off migrants at Greyhound stations after releasing them pending court hearings. The bus company recently asked they not be brought inside their facilities anymore. Instead, they are now being dropped off just a few feet outside, creating a whole new set of challenges. Cronkite News reporter Walter Panate takes a closer look at the legalities involved. Walter?
Dozens of volunteers have created a network responding to bus stations in Phoenix when immigrants are dropped off. Many of these families do not have money and have to wait on a relative or advocacy group to buy their ticket onto their next destination. This was the scene at one of Greyhound's bus stations in Phoenix, just moments after dozens of migrants were dropped off late last week.
Well, they're not allowed inside the Greyhound station, but we were at least at the parking lot on a sidewalk, at least against a wall where there was some shade. So now they forced us out to an intersection on a sidewalk.
On a sidewalk, even after Greyhound publicly has asked ICE not to continue its practice of dropping migrants at their locations after they've been processed for seeking asylum. Immigration attorney Ayensa Mian says ICE is able to skirt this request by dropping the migrants off on the sidewalk.
They're technically following the law. Could they do more to make sure that these people perhaps don't become victims of a crime if you're leaving them in the middle of the street? Absolutely.
Greyhound, the manager, Mr. Garcia, has said that he has spoken to ICE and begged them not to drop them off here.
Melissa Hubert is a church volunteer who helps these migrants right after they're left at these stations without money or travel arrangements made. Many of them don't speak English or Spanish, instead, indigenous languages. Volunteers are expressing their frustration with Greyhound's policy, but by law, they're not breaking any rules.
Technically, in any private property, if I don't want someone in my property, I have the legal right to refuse to allow them in my property.
In a statement, Greyhound said, if a person does not purchase a ticket or have reservations to travel that day, our standard policy does not allow them to remain in our stations as our facilities have limited capacity, end quote. However, in an email response to Cronkite News asking why the agency continues to drop off migrants at Greyhound stations, an ICE spokesperson referred us back to Greyhound, only adding, quote, we continue to work with faith-based organizations and NGOs, though when they cannot accommodate, as courtesy, we drop them off near public transportation so they can make final travel arrangements as they see fit. One of the challenges is finding a place for these migrants to sleep before sundown. If not, they'll be forced to sleep on the street.
But we need shelter. They need somewhere to sleep. So definitely City of Phoenix needs to talk to ICE, needs to figure out what's happening in their own backyard.
Migrants aren't able to pay any sort of travel arrangements while in custody. We asked ICE why this is the case. They responded they don't have the authority to detain them after they've been issued release paperwork. Also highlighting the need for what Yasmin Keefe says are better immigration laws. In the broadcast center, Walter Penate, Cronkite News.